Jerome K. Jerome, extract from the book Three Men on the Bummel. Uncle Podger is late for the train. Folks together. To bet, a bet. Even, odd. To irritate. To complain. Sticky. Folded. Farewell. Chime. "250 days in the year, Uncle Podger would start from Ealing Common by the 9:13 train to Moorgate Street. From my Uncle Podger's house to the railway station was 8 minutes' walk. What my uncle always said was, 'Allow yourself a quarter of an hour and take it easily.' What he always did was to start 5 minutes before the time and run. I do not know why, but this was the custom of the suburb. Many stout city gentlemen lived at Ealing in those days. I believe some live there still, and caught early trains to town. They all started late. They all carried a black bag and a newspaper in one hand and an umbrella in the other, and for the last quarter of a mile to the station, wet or fine, they all ran. Folks with nothing else to do, nursemaids chiefly and errand boys, with now and then a perambulating costermonger added, would gather on the common of a fine morning to watch them pass and cheer the most deserving. It was not a showy spectacle. They did not run well, they did not even run fast, but they were earnest, and they did their best. The exhibition appealed less to one's senses of art than to one's natural admiration for conscientious effort. Occasionally, a little harmless betting would take place among the crowd. 2-1 against the old gentleman in the white waistcoat. 10-1 on old blowpipes if he doesn't roll over himself before he gets there. Even money on the purple hamperer, a nickname bestowed by a youth of entomological tastes upon a certain retired military neighbor of my uncle's, a gentleman of imposing appearance when stationary, but apt to color highly under exercise. My uncle and the others would write to the Ealing press, complaining bitterly concerning the supineness of the local police, and the editor would add spirited leaders upon the decay of courtesy among the lower orders, especially throughout the western suburbs, but no good ever resulted. It was not that my uncle did not rise early enough. It was that troubles came to him at the last moment. The first thing he would do after breakfast would be to lose his newspaper. We always knew when Uncle Podger had lost anything by the expression of astonished indignation with which, on such occasions, he would regard the world in general. It never occurred to my Uncle Podger to say to himself, I am a careless old man. I lose everything. I never know where I have put anything. I am quite incapable of finding it again for myself. In this respect, I must be a perfect nuisance to everybody about me. I must set to work and reform myself. On the contrary, by some peculiar course of reasoning, he had convinced himself that whenever he lost a thing, it was everybody else's fault in the house but his own. "I had it in my hand here not a minute ago," he would exclaim. From his tone, you would have thought he was living surrounded by conjurers who spirited away things from him merely to irritate him. "Could you have left it in the garden?" my aunt would suggest. "What should I want to leave it in the garden for? I don't want a paper in the garden. I want the paper in the train with me." "You haven't put it in your pocket? God bless the woman! Do you think I should be standing here at 5 minutes to 9 looking for it if I had it in my pocket all the while? Do you think I'm a fool?" Here somebody would explain, "What's this?" and hand him from somewhere a paper neatly folded. "I do wish people would leave my things alone," he would growl, snatching at it savagely. He would open his bag to put it in, and then, glancing at it, he would pause, speechless with sense of injury. "What's the matter?" Aunt would ask. "The day before yesterday's," he would answer, too hurt even to shout, throwing the paper down upon the table. If only sometimes it had been yesterday's, it would have been a change, but it was always the day before yesterday's, except on Tuesday. Then it would be Saturday's. We would find it for him eventually. As often as not, he was sitting on it. And then he would smile, not genuinely, but with the weariness that comes to a man who feels that fate has cast his lot among a band of hopeless idiots. "All the time, right in front of your noses!" He would not finish the sentence. He prided himself on his self-control. This settled, he would start for the hall, where it was the custom of my Aunt Maria to have the children gathered, ready to say goodbye to him. My aunt never left the house herself, if only to make a call next door, without taking a tender farewell of every inmate. One never knew, she would say, what might happen. One of them, of course, was sure to be missing, and the moment this was noticed, all the other 6, without an instant's hesitation, would scatter with a whoop to find it. Immediately they were gone, it would turn up by itself from somewhere quite near, always with the most reasonable explanation for its absence, and would at once start off after the others to explain to them that it was found. In this way, 5 minutes at least would be taken up in everybody's looking for everybody else, which was just sufficient time to allow my uncle to find his umbrella and lose his hat. Then at last the group reassembled in the hall. The drawing-room clock would commence to strike 9. It possessed a cold, penetrating chime that always had the effect of confusing my uncle. In his excitement, he would kiss some of the children twice over, pass by others, forget whom he had kissed and whom he hadn't, and have to begin all over again. He used to say he believed they mixed themselves up on purpose, and I am not prepared to maintain that the charge was altogether false. To add to his troubles, one child always had a sticky face, and that child would always be the most affectionate. If things were going too smoothly, the eldest boy would come out with some tale about all the clocks in the house being 5 minutes slow, and of his having been late for school the previous day in consequence. This would send my uncle rushing impetuously down to the gate, where he would recollect that he had with him neither his bag nor his umbrella. All the children that my aunt could not stop would charge after him, 2 of them struggling for the umbrella, the others searching round the bag. And when they returned, we would discover on the whole table the most important thing of all that he had forgotten, and wondered what he would say about it when he came home.